Welcome to another episode of the Angel Positivity and Love Show. Incredible guests the world over with amazing insights, wisdom, experience, and more to share with us. But what I like to point out is it's their vibe, their frequency, their love they're sharing with their own interests and how they help others, that they're sharing with all of us being here on the show. Coming back to us from London, Richard Atherton. I love him. He's show host on Being Human, and he's part of a consultancy that's called First Human, but he interviews amazing guests from all walks of life. A big business time emphasis on that show, but it doesn't mean he doesn't have some incredible plethora of other guests from around the world. Richard, great seeing you again. How's life?
Life is good. I'm enjoying life, and I'm just so excited to be back with you. Like I was saying to you before I came on, I consider myself to be somewhat out there, amongst my circle in terms of what I'm exploring and where I'm at. And then I meet you, and you're like next level in terms of where you're at spiritually and what you're tapping into. So it's so exciting to experience your world.
Well, very kind of you to say so. You and I have interacted, I feel like it's at least three, four, or five times. I've been a guest on your show, so thank you
Right.
for that. And in the footnotes, people can go back and see the first time you came on here. Before the show, we were just playing around. There are very small steps guests can take off camera, on camera. Maybe we'll take some at the very end. It could be seeing light on my fingers, auras, consciousness, whatever you want to call it, the force from Star Wars. It could be smelling sage or interacting with angels. Did you have a little bit of fun before the show?
I did. I saw your fingertip aura, a
Yeah,
breakthrough.
we did it
I, in
this
fact, I, in
way.
fact, since we last spoke, I have been seeing auras a little bit, not very often, but once or twice. I do see it around people. If I really kind of zone in, I do. I'm like, oh, yeah, oh, there's something, and I saw it again with your fingertip. So, yeah.
I love it. And it happens for me a lot as a show host when I've got the guest really talking, diving into something, I start to see their glow. And then
Mm.
yours just kicked on and it starts to go further out. The more I'm sort of zoning out. That's when you get them talking for a good 5 to 10 minutes. We'll see how we do today with you. Okay, where are you at for this whole spirituality, mankind, compassion, consciousness thing? Love, 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 love. Talk to us a little, because I'm going to describe you. I'm going to throw you under the bus. It's a beautiful double decker, the red London, I forgot what they're called, double decker buses.
They're called
Okay,
double deckers. Yeah, yeah.
you pay attention. You pay attention a lot, and you meet a lot of human beings, and you're through your show, you're sort of inviting them to tell and share their story and experiences, and you're taking notes along the way, and you're applying what you're learning to yourself, and you're definitely firmly on your own human journey. So
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about your path and how you're learning to open openness, if we do a Buddhist expression, develop your suchness, your inner authentic, inner fearless, peaceful warrior. But then also, let's have you extrapolate out a little, like, what is this thing called compassion, love?
Mm.
Is mankind ready for a little more consciousness?
Yeah. Okay. Great. Well, there's a lot in there. Um, I was reflecting on this the other day about about the podcast hope. I don't know if you podcast hosting. You heard the term bibliotherapy. Bibliotherapy. So that means basically getting well through reading. Like you just read lots of health books or healing books, and you heal as a result. And I feel like we need a word that's the equivalent for hosting podcast is like audio therapy, where basically you evolve through being a podcast host. And that's what's happened to me because I started doing this and it was very much, and we still talk about it, but leadership and workplace culture and how we can be more humane to each other in the workplace. And that's where we started, and I still do so. And then I keep getting these PRs emailing me like, hey, can we have like our angel guy on the show? and I, and I was like, come on, forget. I mean, what are we going to talk about an angel guy? Like, it was just so far from anything I knew about or understood. And after like the 10th email of someone saying, hey, can we have our angel guy on your show? I'm like, okay, all right, I'm going to do it. And so like I had my first experience of someone talking about channeling and angels and so on. And I came off the show and I kind of broke down because there was something about what he was saying that really hit me, and I thought this cannot all be right? There's something in here that feels true. Like I can't. He's a reasonable guy. He's a successful guy. I've just spent an hour with him. It cannot all shit, and I was crying afterwards because crying, not sure why, but it felt like I've been kind of broken open a little bit. And then since then, I've had I've gone sort of further and further out in terms of the conversations I've had, and obviously I've had you on the show, and that feels like that was kind of a milestone. And it's a bit like coming out because you're saying to the world, "Hey, I'm taking this stuff seriously," and I've also been, I guess, opening up slowly by slowly, opening a bit more, doing some more meditation, having a few more weird experiences, feeling a little bit more connected, taking some of this stuff a bit more seriously, and so and that's and that's where I'm at, and I'm starting to have more moments of a sense of connection to something beyond, a bit more peace in my life, and very much on a journey. It's kind of a cliche, isn't it? A spiritual journey. What does that mean? Like, but it does. I guess I am on one, and I'm embracing it. Yeah. So, and I'm very grateful for your role. Like, you have been one of the key angel guys on the path.
Again, a double thank you and beautifully put. I was feeling that. You had me probably smiling the most I've ever done out of 400 tapings. Okay, let's back up. We'll go sideways on a complete tangent. Is there a part of the day, walking by a garden, flowers, the sunset, sunrise, just the sky, the clouds, you're waiting for the tube, except you'd be stuck outside somehow, where you're looking at the sky? Can you talk to us about nature or in the moment shower? The 2 minute, 10-minute shower felt like 40 minutes, or slowed down. Satori, samadhi. Uh, Talk to us about how has your perception at times been enhanced, expanded, changed, or you've just been really appreciative of something?
Well, I think one of the things that's shifted in my meditation, and I've noticed it a bit more recently, so I've been meditating now for several years. I guess it's consistently now, like 4 years or something. And I'm starting to have these experiences where I kind of get locked in and I don't want it to stop. Like, that's been the big shift. Like, I'm now at a place where I can enter states where it's not like I'm coming up on 20 minutes in my meditation. I'm like, oh God, finally I can, I can get back to something. I'm really in a state of extended periods of bliss, and I'm starting to let go of the body and feel like the space and the energy in the space, and start to kind of imagine not being physical. I know that sounds weird, but that's where it feels like I'm at now, and that does come with a sense of peace and joy that I now feel like I'm occasionally tapping into for extended periods. And it may only actually be a few minutes, to your point, but it feels like forever. And so I suppose, yes, what's coming with these experiences is a sense of timelessness. Yeah.
Have you tapped some India sources, authors, texts, books, anything like that?
Well, I read autobiography of a yogi, years and years ago. This is before I got, out of intellectual interest more than anything. But I wasn't meditating. I was doing a bit of yoga, but I was nowhere near, where I've got to now. I I I do Vedic meditation with a mantra. So I engage in that. I had a teacher who taught me that, and I have my mantra, and I do that one. I'm quite precocious with my meditation approaches. I also use Raja Yoga from the Brahma Kumaris, which is single point focus, eyes open. I use that one. I've also done the Joe Dispenza, who we talked about in the last show, meditations. I find those very powerful when you put the earphones in, especially when there's a lot of chaos in the house. You can put the earphones in, zone in. He's got a great frame that he creates. So, yeah, yes to your answer on India, but also other forms as well.
Brilliant answer again. And let's also jump again on another tangent. How do you like to describe Dr. Joe Dispenza? And I'll take a stab first to buy you 20 seconds. Super plugged into the universe, but doesn't put his cards on the table. Doesn't doesn't flash how connected he is, and instead keeps it rooted in science and practicality and gets you moving. If you go to one of his retreats or something, gets you moving with a lot of, I'll call it chi or mana building and releasing, and you might be shaking a little while later, letting go of your worldly stress. But he's very effective, but he doesn't necessarily talk woo 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 the whole way. How do you like to describe him, or pick another teacher that's out there that's impacted you?
Well, I think what's awesome about him, he speaks the language of millions of people. You know, he's using scientific language, which makes this accessible to a much broader swathe of the population, which I think is why he's so effective and why he's so popular. Because for all of those people who've got associations with religious language that may be a block for them to enter into this realm, he's providing another path, and so I'm hugely appreciative of that. Yeah, and he seems to be very deliberately chooses not to use any language associated with the religious traditions, and I respect that choice. Yeah, I mean, I love the guy. I think he's doing great work. Yeah.
Tell us about a few other folks out there. Is it Eckhart Tolle? Is it Don Miguel Ruiz, Dan Millman? Who else have you tackled and enjoyed either their works or the movie Peaceful Warrior with Amy
Oh, I
Smart,
don't know
Scott
that one.
Nicholas, Nick Nolte? It's a gymnastics film, looks like Disney made it. So you'd only think, oh, it's athletics. How could it have anything to do with mindfulness, meditation, spirituality, anything? But I'll take a stab at this. The garage mechanic, gas station attendant is an angel. And this is supposed to take place in the 1960s, real life story. Dan was at Berkeley, a gymnast on that team, and he gets into a motorcycle accident. He, at the beginning of the story, cocky, pretty good grades, girls. He's got no room for learning. Nothing. No expansion is going to happen. And this is like a Karate Kid, but an adult version. So the Mr. Miyagi figure is this mysterious gas station attendant, played by Nick Nolte at his best. He looks like a stoic philosopher out of Greece. Um, and a motorcycle accident. Dan's told he's never going to walk again. He comes all the way back. He ends up winning the NCAAs, goes on to the Olympics, but that's not the point of the story. It's really a spiritual transformation, paying attention to the universe more. Very interesting. So that's an interesting one. What authors, what movies, what books still jump out at you at this point?
So Dr. Wayne Dyer, I've been listening to recently, and he very much does embrace all the spiritual traditions and is very open about that in his work. I think he's fantastic. I've experimented with his meditation, being in the gap, where I don't know if you're familiar with that one, where you take words of the Lord's Prayer and then you focus on the gap between the words, and you get this instant shoot of like joyful energy through the spine. It's sort of a way of bringing on Kundalini whilst you're just kind of sitting there. So that's awesome. I think Wayne Dyer is fantastic. Um, in terms of just a podcast guest and a conversation, I mean, Dr. Diane Hennessy is fantastic. She's the scientist who was featured on the Telepathy Tapes. Are you familiar with the
Yes.
Telepathy Tapes?
Yes.
Yeah. Um, and just the way she describes her experience of interacting with these autistic kids and what they're capable of doing, and just the power of the connections that they're building, and it's like it's like a tour of this sort of wonderland of supernatural powers that she's co- comprehensively sort of studied and surveyed, and it's like she's been out there and she's bringing us back, the learnings and the insights from this world of people with special powers. Yeah, it was a very enlivening conversation. She's fantastic.
Now, this next question is going to throw you for a loop, and we've come a long way since you and I first met. We probably just had a virtual tea together. I think I was maybe a guest on your show first. I can't remember. And then you were a guest on my show or the other way around. And I feel like it's been a year and a half. I don't think it's been 2 years necessarily, but it might have been. Um, so now here's a topic I don't think we've ever brought up. Where are you on the universe and the cosmos? And are we the only game in town? Or are we the only casino on the Vegas Strip? Mankind are human beings the pinnacle? Is that it? It's thinking not love as the fabric of the universe? Or when you were a kid, did you see lights in the sky? Do other beings exist? How do you want to try to tackle this one? Good luck with that, Richard.
Well, I mean, yeah, the straight answer is I just don't know. I mean, all I can what I can say now is that there is consciousness exists beyond the brain. We can connect with each other energetically. We can share information with each other through time and space. That hold that belief now that consciousness exists beyond the brain and that we can share information with each other, yeah, and energetically through time and space. So I'm at that place now. I still don't know if there's now. Could there be entities in this, you know, in this consciousness, in this field of consciousness that can communicate with us, that can make themselves manifest? I don't know, but it's plausible. I'm open to it. Like, you know, if the angel walks up to me in Starbucks like they did you, I'm going to buy him a coffee, right?
I
Like,
didn't get to talk to her, but I did ask later, hey, if it was Charlotte, so she's a blue ball light in this. This is a real photo of an angel for folks who have never watched the show before. But you can see angels around town. You live in Carmel, California. You live in Mexico City. You live in Tokyo. Just ask angels to show up on your path. The stranger with sparkly eyes, a few kind words, the exact words you would 3 hours earlier wish someone would say to you, and you get it, you turn, they're gone. It could be a flat tire. We've had a lot of stories on the show. I think everyone's heard at least two of those stories. So, um, but angels do exist. If I had to say three things that I've learned in what 15 years of doing this, where you put your focus is where you put your focus. Totally safe and scientific and can't be debunked.
yeah,
So where you put your focus is where you put your focus. How you spend your energy is how you spend it. And then lastly, I did try to grasp angels for 2 years. I got this far and I settled on they exist. Trust that it's so, and then just get out of your own way, and answers and much more will come. That's when the ride begins, is when you stop trying or grasping. So, where would you put yourself if this is a giant climb up? We'll make it Mount Kilimanjaro, a little warmer than K2 or one of those Nepalese or whatever mountains out there. If you're going up Mount Kilimanjaro, where are you on this ascent? I think you've made some progress. You're definitely way past the beginning stages and stuff. You've committed yourself to going up the mountain, and there's great views at the top. It's relatively
yeah,
safe.
yeah. It was funny. I used to live on Mount Kilimanjaro. I lived I lived in a town
No.
called Moshi, which is in the foothills of
So we are definitely past that location then. This is
Yeah,
interesting. I
right.
had
Yeah,
no idea.
I'm higher than Moshi. Uh, yeah, I actually never made it to the top. I was there for the. It was one of those things where you stare up at it every morning. And you're like, okay, this weekend we'll do it. Okay, next weekend we'll do it. And then it was time to leave, and we'd never done it. Which is, yeah, I think it's one of the things when you live somewhere, right? You anyway. To your point, yeah, there's definitely there. Like I'm talking. I mean, I'm embracing conversations with people like you, right? Like 5 years ago, I wouldn't have gone near you. Like, I just not. That's no offense, but I just would have been like, what the hell, you know? So yeah, so definitely beyond the foothills. Am I at base camp yet? Maybe not. Maybe getting close. One thing I do have that comes is when I connect with somebody and I'm feeling like I'm in the zone of my intuition and I'm asking the right questions. I have this sense in my head of angels, like of like, and these kind of being things in are like jumping around and like they're happy, but still have no idea. Like I can't say that could just be my information, my imagination, and that's just the way my intuition asserts itself in my psyche, or it really could be entities kind of beaming in. But I don't have any means to say either way. But I'm open to it. Could be I'm getting little helpers from somewhere else in the cosmos coming and giving me a visit.
I love it. Are you ready to take an early step? I'll show some light on my fingers, but if you don't mind, just put both hands on your heart for a second. We'll give you privacy. I'll look away. But just ask angels to get you out of your head, or the universe, loving beings, angels, however you want to describe it. I always like to say address angels, but ask angels to get you out of your head, into your heart, so you can see with all of you. It's really the Zen thing, seeing without seeing. We did this before the show. You're outed now. And you'll see a little bit of light or whatever you want to call it, the flow of consciousness. It's on everything, the trees, dogs, but our thinking is so good. Its job is to take all that away and to say, my situation is, my problem is, human currency right now, mankind's currency is knowing, the type of knowing that precludes possibility. And there's a much broader knowing that's a little more fun, knowing with no limits. Like you can have any answer to any questions, you just have to listen. Okay, Richard, did I buy you enough time to set your intent? That's basically what I just asked you to do. Set your intent to just see a little bit of light on my fingers. All set?
Yep.
Okay, and I'm going to tell a dad joke. I'll see if I can remember. Oh, I got it. I got the dad joke that you've not heard and that the audience hopefully hasn't heard. I don't think I've told this in 100, 200 episodes. So, the fruits and vegetables, they decide to throw a nighttime garden party east side of London. If there's an east side of London, I'm making it up. Okay, they hire the
This
best
is the
DJ.
trendy side. You picked well.
Oh, good. See, psychic again. You know, Mount Kilimanjaro and the east side. I did it. Okay. Um, they decide to hire the best DJ in London. They string up the nightlights. In the middle of the party, a tipsy carrot, if it's kids, an excited carrot, jumps up on the picnic table and yells, "Let us turn up the beat." It's totally bad. Okay, see a little bit of light between my fingers. It'll be white, yellow, green, 15 colors at once. Rainbow light. Hit pause, people, and go out and buy a lotto ticket. Okay, here we go. And what do you see between my fingers?
Yeah, I do. I see a bit of the white string. Yeah.
Okay, and white's all the colors combined. The only thing bigger is rainbow light. Richard, can you do a little of your, we'll call it semi-meditation. Do one of your practices, a mantra, focus driven, that one that you described where you focus on the point. Just focus on between space between the fingers and
Mm.
allow. I'll tell another dad joke. See if you can just let that gap grow, and you might get an extra like a I can't pronounce it, a mauve, turquoise, a new color added to the white. And I'll tell another dad joke. Why did the rabbit fall down that well? He didn't see that well. And now, are you getting anything different? It's okay if not. We're pushing
No,
it.
but I think what is happening is that the strand of the light is more like a band and a bit less like a string. It seems to be
Good. Okay, I'm going to put my
thicker.
hands down.
Yeah.
Okay, you're officially off the hook on the show. You're invited back on in late 2026 or 2027 because you can't say you've never done anything. I don't think we ever said that really before, except jokingly. I swear you took one step at least a year and a half ago. Okay, I've got a line for you from an angel that I think's pretty good, and I'd like you to just run with it. She said her name's Joy, very first angel people meet, pink ball light. She can show up as a human. She said, okay, it was Heather who said it, so forget, don't listen to me.
Okay.
Slowing down helps kindle compassion and creates joy. And I'll give one more from a Native American chief, Dull Knife, another quote. The work along the path, as you make your journey, the work along the path leads to compassion and joy. Talk to us about how this slowing down thing is the key to everything. How have you noticed how you've slowed down since the corporate? Now it's corporate, spiritual, corporate.
Yeah. Yeah. Go for a sprint, whatever it is. Uh, yeah. So, well, meditation is that's the one that's the principal way I slow down is through meditation, and I have a good practice of 20 minutes each end of the day. And I mean, what it does, it gives me a reprieve from my thoughts. Yeah, it gives me a reprieve from my thoughts. And when we talk about slowing down, what we're really talking about is less having fewer thoughts. And that sounds weird because when we think about it may sound weird to some people, right? When we think about people rushing, we tend to think about activity and moving around and getting to this place and doing the next thing. But really, what it is about having fewer thoughts, being more present to the breath, and creating more spaciousness. And that's what's remarkable when I mentioned Autobiography of a Yogi before, but in that book and in other spiritual books, there are often stories of these extraordinarily busy gurus, right? They're seeing lots of people throughout the day. They're building temples. They're, you know, dot, 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 dot. and yet they're slow. Everything's slow, and and that's what I'm becoming present to is the power of letting go of thinking to a greater and greater degree over time.
If this is a 7 course meal, you've had the drinks, you've had the appetizer, you've set everything up perfectly for the next dish coming in. Now, here is your author, along with
Oh yes, there he is himself.
Ananda Mayama is right behind him. And I'm gonna just ask that you start breathing extra through the mouth. Let go, no triota. And close your eyes and just see what comes in. It might be a sense, it might be a smell of incense out of India. Breathe through the mouth 1 millimeter open, no try. I'm gonna do Yoda's voice since I'm hidden behind this photo. I can totally do this voiceover without being embarrassed. Mm, do, do not. There is no try. And you may see the landscape in India. You may get a smell. You may get a hand on your shoulder if you want to hear a few words from Yogananda or Ananda Mayama. I could barely say their names. I forget everything right now. Um, just let them come in, invite them to come in. Again, you might just see flowers. It could be anything, a smell of flowers. And all it takes is one little crack in the eggshell, and it's just an eggshell. It's not very thick. That's the best, the ego thinking structure, rationale, logos, what we know, concrete thinking can do to try to create a barrier to complete love. If love's the fabric of the universe, and this is what you'll be talking about later, is your current viewpoint for man and the flow. And I'm just talking a lot to buy space for you. So, Richard, breathe through the mouth a little more. And I'm going to blow through the microphone. It's below the screen today. I'm going to whoosh a little with my hands, just pushing energy, love and above figures. Don't blame me. Don't blame Canada. It's just a lot of love. I'll try to make the sound extra big. My microphone filters out that wind sound. We'll see. Here it comes. First big whoosh. See if you can feel bubbles of light or anything, vortices all over you. Out of all those antics, a photo of Yogananda, Ananda Mayama, smelling, sitting still, being at peace, did you get anything, an iota of anything? Did you get a little bit of goosebumps?
I felt some warmth when you did the hand pushing. Yeah.
You're totally invited back on, this time midsummer. We won't wait till the end of 2026. Okay. Nice. Okay, good. That's a step, and that's all. Opening openness. Do we judge how much did you open your heart? Oh, only 62% today. It was 70 yesterday. I should go do penance, you know. I got to go dig the ditch in the backyard. Okay. Okay, so now if you could, is mankind ready for more compassion, just peace, calm, gentleness, and less rat race? And rat race isn't the big banks. It's not the war in this country or that country or this elite cabal or anything else. It's up here. So a little less this and a little more intercom something.
Yeah. Yeah, it's happening. There's a shift. I mean, the telepathy tapes knocked Joe Rogan off the podcast charts, right? Yeah, people have got an interest in this. In Gen Zs are going back to church. Yeah, it's something shifting, something shifting. Yeah, people are opening up. They're coming back into. Yeah, I think back into right. I think there's probably been periods in history where people have been more connected and less connected. And feels like we're back in the swing of getting more connected again. Although you look at politics and you think, well, how could that possibly be true? But my sense is that that is what's happening.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's a lot of patience going on right now on the planet, if you ask me. I think it's a lot of patience. People might not have a lot of patience in another sense, but they're exhibiting a lot of patience. And there's definitely, I think, a desire for greater harmony and peace everywhere. There's been a lot of shenanigans. So we'll leave it at that. Um, Who's a stranger, a person? You don't have to name who they are. It was just the barista at Starbucks. It was this person on the street. How have you had an experience where you're like, my God, that person was wide awake, wide open? or I was caught off guard and I felt something just by connecting with them. The way they handed the coffee to you, or they said good morning, a complete stranger. Or if it's London, it's the person in a suit, man, hustling along, trips. The briefcase goes sliding, and they start yelling, sorry, to everyone, picks up the briefcase, but they say something special to you. Okay, who is that person? What's that moment in the last month or two? What stands out? Could be an instructor somewhere or someone else. It could be a guest on your show. Who has struck you and it's been something that you can't quite put your finger on, but it was definitely more openness?
Well, something that happened to me on the show. I had a guest. He's actually he's a brilliant guy who set up the research foundation into pure unlimited love with Sir John Templeton, who's, I don't know if you're familiar with the Templeton Prize, right? So it's his buddy, but he was on the show talking about pure unlimited love, and at the end of the show, I just sent him pure unlimited love. I felt myself sending this guy pure unlimited love, and he came back to me and he was very complimentary about, me hosting the show and saying I was a great messenger, and and I don't say that because I want to brag about getting a compliment. It was the way I took it. It was the fact that I could absorb it and take it in and be okay with feeling the love from him, and okay with sending the love from him. And so that was a remarkable moment. Yeah.
You ready to try a couple more unconditional love figures? I've got a couple photos. I'm just going to put a photo of an angel up, but I'm going to actually grab then a colorized version. And I don't know how we have a photo from 1910, but it's from around 1910. Sri Shirdi Sai Baba. He's is a saint, but he's Mr. Miracles, tight with angels, unconditional love. You don't have to worry about his lineage or anything like that. But here's an angel named Joy, and I'll put up my guardian angel named Min. Actually, have real photos, and I'll find archangels somewhere. Here we go. Four archangels: Michael, Gabriel, Raphael, Uriel. You don't have to do anything with them. Just leave your eyes on them. Be like, hey guys, help me out of my head into my heart. Do it silently and help me connect with Sri Shirdi Sai Baba. I'll put him up next. So you're just making a request. Six angels here. And let me know when you got your request put in.
Yep. Yep.
Good. Nothing to it. And if you don't mind, breathe a little extra for me. But here's a colorized version of him. He's a really nice guy. I'll put it in Americanese. If I'm on a run and I'm having trouble going up, we got like 14% grade hills here. Geronimo and him will pop in and say funny stuff to me and get me going again. Music's not doing it. Here he is. See if you can feel, he'll move in the photo, by the way. A wink, smile, shoulder waggle. You got 19 ways to interact. You might catch an incense out of India or feel a hand on your shoulder, just feel sparkle. Might feel like a solar flare. This one's a little more intense. Ask, what wisdom have you got for me today? What have you got for me today? And listen. I'll be quiet. And when you're ready, close your eyes then after that. And again, you might have an image come in.
Okay, the same word, jump.
Oh,
Same as
and so was that before the show? We didn't do it during the show that you got jump, right? This is the second time today, which I
Yeah.
translate as take the lead.
Who
But
was the?
start over
Yeah.
for us and explain the before the show and this show right now.
Um. Sorry, start over and explain to us again before
Yeah,
right
put
now in
some
terms of the shift
context
over
to,
the experience.
yeah, explain to people the context before the show. I think you talked to her. To me, it's all a blank. So,
Yeah, I mean, I didn't get anything from her. I didn't get anything from anyone when we were doing the pre-show, but I've now had jump from Geronimo and
okay,
Sai Baba. So
perfect.
yeah,
And I did Geronimo though pre-show, didn't I?
I thought you did it in the show. Maybe you did it pre-show. Okay, fair
Pre-show,
enough.
maybe, yeah. So that's
Pre-show,
Geronimo,
yeah.
and so you like historical photos better. This is good. So we're cracking the egg here on air, and that egg is nothing more than a little bit of thinking like, oh, I can't name any project like running. There's a lot of, I mean, I wouldn't wish running on anyone except put some music on and, get over it. And pretty soon you're as good of a runner as almost anybody else. Just got to get out the door, put the shoes on. I always say if you want to go running, don't go running for the first 2 weeks. Set the clothes out, totally folded, perfect shoes. Look at it. Reserve the 15 minutes though, or 5 minutes in the morning. Sip tea, coffee, look at your clothes and laugh wickedly. I'm not going running, actually. I'm just looking at them. At some point, after a couple weeks, you're going to be bored to tears and be like, I probably should go out the door. And then only go to the stop sign, first fire hydrant, 2 houses away, and come home. Do not sweat. Barely any exercise. Move the legs a little so you're jogging like a 100-year-old. And then close the door and laugh again. I'm getting away with this. This is amazing. There's no point in even putting music on. You're 30 seconds out, 30 seconds back. That's if you're the real hard thinking type. And then at some point, you have to go 2 houses out, and then another 2 houses, and then a whole stop sign and a whole traffic light later. At some point, you might be running a whole song out and a whole song back. At that point, you might be sweating. At that point, your goose is cooked because you're kind of liking the break in the routine in the morning. Now, bought enough time again. I'm putting Geronimo up. Ask for something new besides jump, which we'll take as take the leap. Maybe he'll say it a different way. He's very smart alecky. He's like, yeah, take the leap. Duh. Trust. Here's Geronimo, Unconditional Love Spirit Guide. He comes in like a lightning bolt. Just be like, Geronimo, what do I need to know? Do it silently. Leave your eyes on him. Did you already get your answer?
I now get chomp. That's what I'm getting. I don't know if that's because I just see he's got a very chompy looking mouth, but I'm getting chomp.
Okay.
So that's bite, something.
So another way to ask this again is when we get out of here and we get to here, that can be a lifetime for some. It could be a trip to India for others. It could be the Machu Picchu trip or just Joe Dispenza, hardcore for a couple months, or Wayne Dyer. Talk to us about that letting go. It's a leap. It's a jump. It's a leap of faith. Religious, non-religious faith. It's the same thing in my opinion. It's going from here to here. Describe for us in your words this journey from out of mind into heart.
How do I describe it? I mean, partly it's grieving. It is a grieving process, or at least it has been for me, because I was so addicted, if you like, to my identity as a thinker. You know, I got so much validation from thinking and figuring things out, and so there's a process of grief and letting go of that part of myself that was addicted to thinking, also part of myself that was in love with that aspect of my identity. So I do think there's that, and then I think there is the forming of the habit that you. I don't see. I mean, maybe other people do it without meditation. I mean, I know some people do it without meditation. You know, they read the stories, they just seem to get struck by the Holy Spirit, and they have 20 minutes in another world, and they come back completely changed, and the world is never the same again. But for me, it's been first and foremost finding meditation, and much like you described, actually, with the running, the teacher I had, because I tried and failed for 15 years to get a meditation practice, and then I found this Vedic meditation teacher, and I'd be like, oh man, I did like, he was like, you've got to do it 20 minutes twice a day, and I'd be like, oh, I did it for like 3 minutes, and I was climbing the walls, like, and he's like, just do 3 minutes and then lie, a bit like you say, staring at the clothes, just lie on your bed for 17 minutes. But do the 20 minutes. Okay, all right. And then it'd be like 4 minutes and 5 minutes. And within, I think, about 2 weeks, I'd got to the point where I was meditating for 20 minutes. And not only that, I was doing it twice a day. And that's been the foundation of my slow evolution. And which has been partly is about this habit forming of just stopping 20 minutes twice a day, and also a grief process, like a bit like I described to you when I had that guy who was talking about the angels, and I was like, this cannot all works. Like there was something in me that, like, a little part of me died when I had that realization.
It's death of ego, death of thinking, or at least putting ego and thinking into the side seat of the automobile. They get their hands off the steering wheel, and you're at least the side seat driver now, not driving the car anymore, control. Maybe the back seat if we're really lucky. Very few people get it out of the car. From what angels have said, thinking is not going away for all of us. It's just not in the cards. But it can serve as a reminder. When thinking pops up, let it be a reminder. A reminder for what? You decide. Breathe more, smile more, laugh, let go, relax. Okay, you ready for a little Wayne Dyer I'm gonna put his photo up. This is almost our last interactive thing or spiritual thing or whatever you want to call it, energetic thing. If you don't mind, just say Wayne Dyer's name out loud for me. Just
Wayne Dyer.
yeah. Now, ask him to punch through. A special favor. You're not going to share it out loud. You're not going to give us any indication, but if you want to give us a thumbs up afterwards, this is private to you, but on a show. Here's Wayne Dyer, and if you don't mind getting a lot of love, a big hug, and something that ripples for days, like Shaktipat equivalent. If we were in India and a guru touched you on the forehead, you can close your eyes now. Have him come in and just deliver something. And if you want to give us a thumbs up, that'll be a more indicative versus just quiet. Oh, good. Okay, now if you do want to yap about it, you're welcome to. This is an
I get
American.
it really clear that you are incredible. That's what he said.
Oh, okay. And I slapped and clapped, whatever that is, just now. Last act while we're red hot. Okay. I've got I don't even know what it's called. It's crystal selenite. I think they call it a wand or something with pointy ends. I'll just say that. If you don't mind treating this like a fireplace, put your hands up, see if you can feel the vibe. And breathe, relax, relax, relax. Do you feel any energy, any sparkle, any tingliness?
Yeah, maybe it's something. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, good. Hey, again, now we've gone from like midsummer to maybe late spring. We can have you back on. Okay, Richard, what have you also had to let go of, or what have you kept on doing? So you've kept, there's start, stop, keep. You've talked about starting meditation. What have you kept on doing? Is it keeping an open mind? And what have you had to let go of that you haven't mentioned?
Um, well, I've had to keep on coming back to meditation for sure. Keep on challenging myself with conversations like this. This is the I suppose this is the other aspect of it, right? Like it's almost like embarrassing. There's a part of me that feels embarrassed. I'll just be honest, having a conversation, especially a public conversation, but even a private conversation one with somebody who's talking about this stuff. And what I have to keep let going on, and the ego doesn't want me to be in public talking to somebody who's talking about angels. The ego part of me doesn't want me to declare to you. Sometimes I experience this stuff in my meditation, which might be angels like beaming in from above. I feel like comes some kind of shame, embarrassment, weirdness. I have to keep letting go of it. I have to keep letting go of it and tune in and like, is this for my growth?
Mhm.
Yes. And it's the same when I started with therapy. So when I started with all of this journey, it was not spiritual. It was healing therapy. It was emotional work, like grief therapy. And I kind of had to let go then. And I remember it's like saying to my brother when I was in my 20s, early 20s, and I was still drinking heavily. And he was trying to get me to go see someone and talk about my issues. And I was like, I'm not going to go and see some lady and like tell her all my problems. Why would I do that? Right? That was this mindset I was in my early 20s. And eventually I went and saw a therapist who did have a couple of cats, right? And it was incredible because I started talking about my childhood. I started talking about my feelings for the first time. I started to open up and slowly I started to heal. But I remember that I had the same kind of embarrassment and shame and, oh God, I'm going to have to go and talk to this woman. But it was I just let my intuition win, and I'm doing it again now. Except now it's less about working through all my past stuff, and it's much more about finding connection with whatever's beyond.
Mm. Feel what you feel. Do not judge. And we might have just had a little bit of light fly by. We've had that happen a lot. Jennifer Passavin is my number one guest for that, where I'll see if I can pull it up on tape and I'll stick it at the front of the show or something, or at least privately send it to you. We might have had a little ball of light in front of you shoot up. Big ball of light, actually. We'll see. But Jennifer Passavina has been on 3 or 4 times. She's out of Michigan, and I think the latest show we had 3 times. Even one coming out of what looks like a movie poster behind her on an easel. That's a beautiful poster. Um, her logo business, and the ball light came out of that image and went, and she was like this on air. And I put that on the playlist at the bottom of my YouTube channel. That's the short, fun video clips. It's like 20 seconds, I think, of 3 different balls of light. And she may be on there earlier. I try to put those up. We had an Arizona State University professor, interdimensional Jesuses flew by. I think it was at my end. And you see my reaction, and I'm like, like this as well. And again, light shows up at times. Okay, I wanted to mention back to meditation. I call it taking a nap. If it's not too structured and you're not following the directions of an established, meditation teacher. But I call it taking a nap. Grab a pillow, grab stuffed animals, put on Radiohead Lotus Flower on repeat. That's exactly 5 minutes. Go take a nap and see what happens, but pay attention to your eyelids a little extra and let go. And by grabbing stuffed animals, if you don't mind hearing the word stuffed animals and letting go, pillow, whatever you do, don't do it where you sleep, is my recommendation for everybody. Like, not your usual hangout spot on the couch and not your bed. Anywhere else. Get a beach towel, make it comfy, a lot of pillows. Radiohead Lotus Flowers, my secret advice to folks. Okay, did I blow sage on air? I don't think I have. We did that before the show. This will be the last act, and then we're going to have you sound really wise with one of your mantras that you've learned. Then you're going to repeat it 3 times for us. You're going to do the Wayne Dyer. You're going to repeat the mantra in a little bit. Not yet. You repeat, I am love, I am love, I am love, but slower and more meaningful so people can pick up on your vibe. Here's the sage. I don't think we did it on air. We were doing it before the show. Okay. I'm going to light this, catch a little bit of energy in sage. Hear from Joy, Wayne Dyer, Geronimo. You don't need photos for all of them. Here you've got this. Or here, chump or jump. Here we go. Exactly. I'm
No,
being
it
fun.
was chump. It was chump, not chump.
Oh,
Chump.
okay. Chump. Okay. Here's a little bit of sage. I'm lighting it. And if people don't know what's up with this, I remember to do it like 95% of the shows. Most guests catch the smell of smoke, sage, whatever. We don't need to have this lit for you to get sage. Ask Geronimo to bring it to you. Okay, that's a lot of smoke. You're in England, I'm in America. This is impossible, but time and space don't exist the way you think. Think of a class 1 hour long. Boring professor, it's 2 hours. Amazing professor, it's over in 20 minutes. You wish it kept going. The guy or the woman's just too damn good at what they do. Okay, are you getting any smoke, any energy?
Maybe something. Maybe something. Maybe.
Okay, I'm snubbing this out before I set off my fire alarms. And I had one more story having to do with fire alarms. So, for years, this is like 14, 15 years ago, somehow I got into teaching give your ego a nickname. I think mine was Mr. Higglesworth, Higginbotham, something. Give it a ridiculous name. Soccer player, Formula One race car
I,
driver, Brazilian superstar, anything with 10 syllables or more.
I don't know
Give,
why I'm swearing so much on this show. I don't know what it is.
oh, it's
I
okay.
hardly ever swear, but the nickname was.
So, yeah, and anytime you're feeling heaviness come in, you want to do this with love, though. So this is the trick or this is the catch or the rub. You offer your ego a hug. And
Mm.
and the ego, the last thing it wants is unconditionality or love or no limits or consciousness or space or light or any of that stuff. It's all synonymous. Depends if we're talking India, Joe Dispenza versus religion versus whatever. They all have 1,000 terms to describe here. So you have to be able to offer a real hug, not a fake hug. You give it a black eye, it'll give you a black eye back. So I remember back in my first Austin home. This is home 3. I'm in San Antonio now. 2 Austin homes in here. I'm sitting with a full 20-ounce Starbucks mug of coffee. And I'm like, wow, these thoughts don't feel like me. This is really heavy. And I'm like, gee, I should probably take the advice that I've been giving people, a lot of people. I should probably follow my own advice. So I'm like, hello, Mr. Higglesworth. How are you today? Would you like a hug? Every fire alarm in my house, second floor, downstairs, went off at once. And had it been a year earlier, because I'm, it takes me 2 years to learn what you just did like that. I would have been like dropping the mug, 10,000 splash drop up from a crashed mug full of coffee. I still would have been cleaning it up 5 years later. But I, with a shaking hand, put it on the counter and called my lifeline south of Austin. There's a psychic who was helping me out. And I'm like, what did I just do? What did I just do? She's like, relax. You were just a little too pushy. If you give it a black eye or you're not 100% or at least 52% love, it's going to right back. So it set off all my fire alarms. So I wanted to mention that because there's something to this. Your ego does not want to let go of control. It doesn't want to let go of anything. It has an opinion on everything. It's got to be this process, that process. You're not doing it right enough. It's only Tuesdays. I don't like sushi. I mean, it's there to protect you, and it's the filter, the lens. It's the Julie McCoy from Love Boat. What have you been learning about thinking, logos, rationale, control, the way things are, knowing with limits that precludes possibility? Talk to us a little more about ego.
Okay. Uh, yes. What can I say about ego? The ego, you're right, it has to be loved. Yeah, don't take my advice and refer to it. You're right about that. Love the ego, have compassion for the ego, be with the ego, and let it go. I had one teacher talk about like it's an adolescent. It's like this adolescent. You kind of you give it a hug. It's okay. It's all right. And then come into the breath and ground, and then from there you can create. There you can open up to what's possible, what your intuition is whispering, and then yeah, that's when new possibilities arise. New possibilities arise, not bounded in yeah in limitation and what you can do and what you can't do. I mean, my podcast is a great example of that, right? I had no experience being on camera, interviewing people, any of it. And I'm now 350 episodes in. And I started this, long before podcasting was really a thing. Yeah. I'm now coaching, right? Like I was a kind of hard, consultant type, all in the left brain, all numbers and figures and diagrams and processes and yeah, if I'd have listened to my ego, I wouldn't have switched and started doing coaching. Like so there's expansion requires a shift in relationship with ego. And some people seem to be born somehow with that. And some people need to, or born or brought up in such a way that they develop an ability to quieten the ego. And others of us have the choice to learn that and can learn to do that.
I'm going to grab a quote from a NASA astronaut, and I'll mention with that hug to ego, all you have to do is be in your heart and offer a little bit of love. Would you like a hug? And your ego is like immediately like, no thanks. No thanks. It's gone. It's out of the room. You get at least 3 minutes of breathing space if you're lucky and you offered a really good hug. It'll come back in 5 minutes. You get 5 minutes of breathing space. Here's a quote that's right on with what you said. Story Musgrave, a pretty famous, I think, NASA astronaut. Getting out of the comfortable path, that's what exploration is all about. Getting out of the comfortable path, that's what exploration is all about. Or I could say it
Mm,
differently, getting out of what you know into openness, into possibility, into love, into your heart, into the interconnectedness with all. That's the only entry
mm,
point to the bigger reality.
yeah. And I think that the part of it that's not comfortable isn't the exploration because that's fun and energizing. The bit that maybe is not comfortable is stopping and is stopping. It's slowing the thinking down and becoming familiar with the ego. That in itself can be discomfort because we're so wired and addicted to running on in the thoughts to simply stop. You've seen those experiments where they give people like a choice between sitting with their own thoughts or electrocuting themselves. Have you seen that? There's crazy experiments, and like people choose to electrocute themselves over and over again because they'd rather the pain of the electric shock than being with their thoughts. It's there's some yeah, and that's why it took me 15 years to develop a meditation practice. I tried pretty much once or twice a year for 15 years until I cracked it. Because that it's not comfortable to stop and reflect and be with your thoughts. And we'll
But
do anything to avoid them.
the time was perfectly right, though, for you to take that step when you did.
Yeah. Yeah. I think the lockdown was I did it I don't in the middle of lockdown. I think that helped a lot of people. I hear that a lot actually.
Mm. And
Was one of the
lockdown,
silver linings.
I'll say about lockdown, Zoom became accepted everywhere thanks to the lockdown. So I love Zoom and
Mm.
I love that aspect of it. All right, you're going to get a final big quote, and then we're going to have you do your mantra after you react to this quote. Um, I'm going to give you a different quote. Okay. I love saying one particular quote. Give me half a second. Two shakes of a lamb's tail. Here we go. This is a collective voice of angels talking from listening to angels. I quote, wrote this typing, seeing balls of light. So I blame angels for this. They actually wrote this. If anyone thinks I wrote this, you're the best. Like, please share, like, comment, subscribe. What has resonated that Richard has shared with us so far? Plus, I think he was so on the mark, especially like just the last 10 sentences from him. Oh my God. So please at least put an emoji down if you're shy. Okay, so I'm seeing balls of light. I type this thing up, blah, blah, blah. I go on a big radio show that's amazing radio show, I should say. Second time, but I'm with the main host and it goes across 750 stations. So the book hits number one twice, August, September in Angels on Amazon. That's great. Um, and you can pick it
Is
up.
that the one
It's
you recommended I read?
Yeah, probably. I don't know if you
Yeah,
did you
I
read
think that's
it?
the one I read. Yeah, I
Oh,
had a
okay,
lot of
good,
fun
good,
reading
good.
that. Yeah, yeah. I
Okay,
think I
yeah.
read it as
So
prep for our show. Yeah.
yeah, listening to angels, you can't go wrong, and I'm sure Richard will give it a some praise or something. There's no way I wrote it, but here's out of the appendix.
Is it,
Um,
sorry, just one more thing. Is that where you had the glow lights? Were you talking about the glow lights?
oh,
Was it that one?
that's glow stick Zen. I think the that was the
Glow stick
longer.
Zen was awesome.
Oh, okay,
Buy that
okay.
book.
Oh
Anybody
my
out there?
God. Well, very few people, maybe 10 have ever checked out Glow Sticks Zen. That one's two-thirds the crew, Mary, Buddha, Angels, and then one-third me. The zaniness was me. Here's the appendix, though. How rare is it for man to see angels? Here's a quote from Charlotte, Rebecca, and Archangel Michael. Only certain people were shown in the past. They're the ones we chose to share with others. And then we reveal ourselves where appropriate and as needed. We are here to help. Use us, angels. Now, here's the actual appendix paragraph I wanted to get to. Why is all of this, like meeting angels, why is this a big deal for an individual again? When no ego is present, your heart and soul shine through your eyes. You are loved, you sparkle. You are one with all and at peace with all. You are whole and content. Listening is opening the line of communication available to each human. Merely be still and listen. Acknowledge and own the step. Move forward today. Just do it. This is a lot like a classic treasure hunt, but here you get to find yourself since you are the treasure. Do nothing, be, listen, learn, appreciate. This is not about any particular words or concepts. Grow your awareness, not your thinking. Be loved to all as often as possible, no more and no less. If you spent all your time being loved to all, you would have less time for ego to causing harm elsewhere. And there's more to it. Blah blah blah. I could go on forever. What's your reaction to that?
Well, it's definitely got Rumi vibes, right? Yeah, batter down the door to the treasury of non-existence. The heart's matrix is glutted with rubies. Sprigs of laughter are buried in your chest. That idea of smash the jug and come to the river. Like, yeah, we can smash through. I mean, you were using that metaphor earlier, right? Like we smash through to the treasure inside. Yeah.
What's your mantra? You're going to repeat it 3 times for us. Just tell us when you're ready. And I'm going to just do one more blowing whoosh. This is the last intuitive, crazy woo 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 thing. Here's the microphone. I'll look like a goose with wings, or I'll look like a ping pong paddle player, but I'm cheating. I'll have two paddles. Are you ready to feel a little love, sparkle, energy? But we're going to blame angels. Don't blame Canada. Don't blame me. I'm going to whoosh you once, and then you're going to do your mantra 3 times. Here comes the whoosh. Ready? Okay, here comes. Richard, did you feel that?
I did. I felt something.
Okay.
I
All right.
felt something like.
What's your mantra?
Mm. Yeah, break through to the treasure within. Break through to the treasure within.
You can say it one more time if you want. You don't have to.
Break through to the treasure within.
Richard Atherton, amazing to have you on Angels, Positivity, and Love. Every time we talk, you're coming straight from the heart. I love it. And I love hearing about your journey. I think it's inspirational to everyone else because the message is, and we'll let you do a actual final closing of the show. What are the three takeaways we should all have from your personally experiencing, I would say, a very deep or intense or act of letting go to be in your heart more and share love with all others?
Well, first thing I'd say is wherever you are is possible. I was, alcohol addicted, porn addicted, sex, and I somehow found a way. And I was also on top of that, I was high functioning in all those addictions and had to, was locked into my left brain. I was in an intellect on legs, a brain in a jar. I was just, and uh, I found a way. Like I somehow found a way back to my heart. Uh, so it's possible for anyone at any time. Um, and the key is listen. It's finding a way to tune in to the quiet voice, and however embarrassing it feels, however ridiculous it feels, however weird it feels, just have one little step of courage. Oh, okay. Like I'll call the cat lady, or oh, I'll speak to the angels, dude. Oh God, am I going to do it? I'll speak to the angels, dude. Like, do that thing, or I'll go to the 12-step meeting. Am I really an alcoholic? Oh God, I'll do it. Like that thing, just that tiny thing, could open it, open everything up. But be the start of a transformation of who you are, and yeah, and be the first step on the long journey from the head to the heart.
Richard Atherton, thank you again for being a guest on the show. Looking forward to having you back and great seeing you again.
Thank you, Michael. It's been an absolute honor.